lifetime.
Okay, let's go to prediction number 2. This is interesting. Smart cities will lead to citizen assimilation. Acceleration will continue. And city administrations are not ready.
Yeah, they're not. And how will we create collaborative and mutually beneficial approaches towards ownership of our cities and the data that we generate within them, and the ability to build out the roadmap for communities for our future? So this is the idea that technology is going to come into our roads, into our buildings, into the schools, into, the malls and whatever. And we are going to be parts of the product of that city. And by product, I mean that our consumer behaviors, our moods, the people that we talk to, the networks that are generated in real life, offline, are actually going to be sucked into an online world, and that is going to be valuable data. There's already been a lot of discussion around this data and ownership in Toronto with the waterfront development that's happening there, and I go to Toronto a lot and I talk about this a lot as well. And
we're also seeing a lot of facial recognition technology being experimented with around the world, where shoppers can be tracked as they go through a mall, let alone a store, and their moods can be tracked even as they find something that excites them. The heartbeat increases, and Walmart is experimenting with a shopping cart that has something built into the handle that can measure your heartbeat.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, this is kind of like...
I don't know whether it's amazing or insidious.
Well, it's that Orwellian world of tracking everything that we do, and it's like, trust us, you crossing the threshold of this shop means that you've signed off on the terms and conditions of usage. We own your face. We own your biometrics. We own, the networks that you follow in the store. I mean, over the last few years, I've actually written about a number of things like swarm technology that could track your IMSI numbers and the chips in your phone around shopping centers. That got shut down in the States. It was a little bit too creepy. But facial recognition technology, it's security. We need this and whatever, but you still sign away all of your data. And this is being manifested in something called the social credit system in China as well, which is everyone gets a number, everyone gets a score, and it's all about you being a good citizen. If you drop down the scale, you lose rights to be able to be out on the streets at night, be able to travel, all sorts of things. It's like a Black Mirror episode.
So if indeed city administrations aren't ready for to be a smart city, because Vancouver's been bragging about this forever and a day, and is likely as not ready as any other city in North America. So what does cities need to do, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, they need to experiment, and they need to learn, and they need to scale up their teams. They need to have larger cybersecurity forces, people that do data science. They need to work out how the ethics around data ownership and usage of data works for the citizen. That's the big key in this entire debate around smart cities. And they need to do this at scale. And they're just not there today. So how do you do that? How do you fund that? How do you find the right people? It's tough. Yeah.
Are there cities that are better at it that you would point to as, well, if you want to see a model, not perfect by any stretch, but a city that's definitely heading in the right direction, where would you go?
Yeah, I mean, you've got cities like Songdo, which is just outside of Seoul in South Korea, that were built from the ground up with technology. But what's interesting to me is places like Barcelona that put in smart light technology, parking meter technology, and whatever, have generated like over 40,000 jobs over the past sort of 10, 15 years, and have managed to really implement technology in a very smart way. Also, New York does some amazing things. It's turned its public phone network into a public Wi-Fi network.
All right.
It's got applications. It's got all sorts of sensors in the city that actually work for the citizens. So these small applications can work very, very well, but you have to back that up with the people with the skill set behind it.
There's DiBaggio in New York is starting to brag a little about decreasing crime numbers.
Yeah.
Could that be a consequence of the smartness that his city has taken?
Yeah, absolutely. In New York City, there's actually microphones that can tell if a gunshot's gone off. There's all sorts of things that are really, really smart. But it's also, like you say, use the word insidious, and it's a little bit... You know,
well, you said creepy, I said insidious, and in many ways they're both, aren't they?
You know, if suddenly I'm in the Bronx in New York City, which is actually a fantastic place, I raise my voice and someone else raises we have an argument. Does a cop car turn up because some microphones have, some longer range microphones have picked up the conversation? You know, this gets really, really complicated.
All right, I need to take a break for the news. We're only 2 predictions into the 5 for 2019, combined, of course, with the questions. Our guest is futurist Nikolas Badminton.